Hello React Native developers, I hope you are well. William here, recording from beautiful Zurich, Switzerland. In part 6, we've built our login form and we've really struggled with the form validation. Pardon my French, but it was a little bit of a shit show. So in this video, we're gonna use Formik to do the form validation. I'm quite excited to try this library. You've been many to recommend it to me. I hope that sounds good. Let's have a look. So we are back into the code here, and I think the first thing I'm gonna do is to install Formik. Oops. And I think I have a Hello World example here with React Native, so that looks good. So this crazy validation stuff we're gonna remove. So I'm gonna remove this here. And yeah. So this is how it looks like. Let me just put it here. And okay, so we have a callback. So let me just copy this from the hello world. And here we're gonna put our, so I'm gonna create a box. And we're gonna copy the controls we've built already. Does that look good? I'm wondering. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So text input, so we can copy these values here. So we have email, and so here we have email, password, okay, so that looks good. That looks good here as well. So we have handle submit, which we're gonna use here in the submission button. So now let's go into our text input. So validator doesn't exist anymore. We pass the props, that's perfect. So we're gonna remove all this crazy state control. So we can remove also this part here. Here we're gonna return text for now. We'll do the validation with Formik. So we're gonna fix this later. So on change text, this we remove. So I'm basically removing everything we did in part 6, and we're gonna rebuild everything with Formik. So that's perfect. This one I'm gonna set to false for now. We're almost doing everything back from scratch here. So let's assume valid. Okay. So we have a form. I'm gonna do the keyboard aware scroll view we will do, I think, in the next video. Let's do Formik into this one. So we have, let me go to the log. So you see here I can submit. Now let's add some validation. So validation. So it looks cool because it looks like we can define our own schema using yup. I'm not familiar with this library, but we can install it. Okay. So we can create our login schema. It's almost too bad that I should have started with Formik from scratch. because I guess maybe the fact that here we are modifying an existing form and integrating Formik into it makes it a little bit more complex. So here we have email, so we can add password. I guess that's okay. I need to import, yep. That's a funny name. And then we can have a validation schema here. This library seems so cool. It's incredible to see how React Native development has, because I was doing React Native development. Basically, I got sucked into gestures and animations, and I've been really specializing in gestures and animations. And now I'm going back to regular React Native development. And I almost spilled my tea here. It's amazing to see how things have evolved in terms of, restyle, Formik. What a world we live in. So, okay. So we have schema validation. And then we have errors and touched. And touched, I guess, yeah, exactly, is, what I called pristine from in part 6, which is what I was, I don't know if you remember, I was referring to AngularJS and how they had basically this logic built in. So that's cool to have it back. Whoa, what a great library. I mean, let's see, but I'm excited. It's so cool. I mean, that we get to have all these great libraries at our disposal. Okay, errors touched. So perfect. So for here, we're gonna have error is errors.email. Oops. Touched is touch.email. Same for password. So we can add it back into the touched, which is what we used to call pristine, and error. And we called it pristine. I'm not supposed to know that word, but it's from AngularJS. And error, which I assume is a string. So we would have touched error. So touch would be here, and here would be valid, and so it's valid if error is false. Okay. And here we had something. So I guess if it's not touched, it's default color. If it's touched, we check errors. So if it has error, it's danger. If not, it's primary. Success? Primary. You've been many to mention also, and that's a great observation, that here this is buggy, right? I shouldn't use theme directly like this. I should use theme because the values might change. And yeah, we need to do this housekeeping at some point. So let me type something, let me blur, and I get a nice error. Perfect. And now it becomes valid. So let me go back to the log. So let's submit. Okay, so here it's valid, here it's invalid. So you see I submit, nothing happens. Perfect. Perfect. That looks good. Yes, I think that's it. Maybe you can add the remember me now to the form. So, okay, we have values here, which we are not using actually. And so should I add remember? Default is false. So I do need values here, actually. So default value would be values.remember. Perfect. And on change, we need something like handle change, handle submit. Okay. Cool. So we are gonna use, I think, set field value. So on change, set field value of remember. That looks good. So here, default value, which is a Boolean. And on change, it's Boolean. Oh, perfect. So on change, default value. So default value we use here. On change, can use okay. So I'm gonna do unchange here, which is gonna be, and I think I'm gonna remove, let me try something. I'm gonna remove the state here. I'm gonna call it value on change. And here we can also remove, we're gonna put the control back to the form. So we would have value is Boolean on change. And so it should be, let's call it checked. We remove the state. And here we would have, we toggle values remember. And this one we call checked. Let's have a look. So this is so cool. Okay. Let me do a first test, which is going to be to set the default value to true. Okay, that works. Now if I submit, okay. Okay. Perfect. Huh. That looks cool. Okay. So that was easy. So do we have, that was fast. So we can either implement a new screen, a new form screen, or maybe do some housekeeping. The housekeeping stuff is not fun, but you know, we have to do it. So shall we do some housekeeping? Let's do it. Do we have a TypeScript for Yop? So good. It's incredible. What an ecosystem. So up. Okay. So that should fix it. Perfect. And so we used theme everywhere. Let me commit these changes first. So we use theme everywhere and we shouldn't. And I think the way I'm gonna detect all the places where I use it and I shouldn't be using it is by removing the export. So that should trigger an error on app.js where we actually access it, but we should fix all the other types errors which that would be created if we don't export the theme. So here I remove it. I'm gonna remove it also from here. And now it's gonna complain everywhere. So let's fix the places where we use it. And so here. And now, so we use it here. So we can do theme equals use theme. Right? The reason is if the theme change, we want to re-render the component. So I shouldn't access the theme directly. And the theme can change because maybe we go to dark mode, maybe the orientation of the screen has changed. I mean, or maybe we want to, I don't know, the screen got bigger or something. So the app is not yet made to handle such changes, but at least that's one step forward. So here, probably we need to use our own theme type. No. So that's definitely our theme type. Oh. That's not good. If we cannot type the return of use theme. So maybe I'm gonna do use theme here. Use theme as. Okay, that seems to work. So that should work here. Why is he complaining? Oh. Oh, I was not using the right use theme. Sorry about that. So use theme from restyle, that's good. Any. Yeah, that's much better. No. Anyways, so we don't have to use the casts every time. Let's use this one. And here I don't need to cast, I can just use the generic type. So that should be good. Let's, yeah. Let's go through our types errors and fix them one by one. I know that's not fun, but we gotta do it eventually. Up. But the Formik stuff was fun. Oh my gosh. So where do we use it? Here, perfect. Okay. Onboarding. So use theme. Okay, so here we use it into the style, which I'm thinking. Let's have a look. So theme equals use theme. Here, no problem. And now, so here I'm thinking to create a new hook, very similar to how you would do it in React Web. So to create a style sheet, but where we get, that creates a hook where we get the theme as parameter. And that's how we do it in React Web. Should we do it? So let me check how we do it into React Web. Is it, I think, called make style or yeah. So we want to do something like this. We can try to implement it here. So here we would have styles equals use styles. And so how would we implement make style? So make styles, return it returns the hook. So we have use, okay. So we have theme and we return a style. How can we? We have T that extends object. I mean, I don't know how why is it typed in style sheet? Yeah, exactly, something like this, right? Name style.
A few moments later.
T extend. Okay, let's do this. Extends make styles. T and we return T. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So now it's typed properly. That's exciting and I trust that it works, but let's see. And maybe I should move this into theme. Okay. Let me also export it here. So it would be make styles. Okay. So let's go to the next errors, and then we can test actually if this hook works. Social login. Where do we use size? Here, okay. Okay. Up. Okay. Okay. And I think, and this one is expected. So the error in. So this means that I can, and I'm not gonna export it through components for safety. So I'm gonna export it directly from components / theme. And so I do have to export it. And yeah, it looks good already. Perfect. And I think one way to find out if there is a way in Restyle to do this automatically is that I'm gonna make a PR to propose this change, and I guess the maintainers will tell me immediately if this is useful or not. So that was cool. We used Formik and did a bit of housekeeping, and I think we're gonna do this in the next part. We're gonna implement new screens, so sign up, forget password, and we're gonna do also a little bit more housekeeping. Yeah, so I guess it's a good mix between doing something new and exciting, but also we need to make sure we are not accumulating any technical debt. So one of my favorite movies, Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about the best sushi chef in Tokyo, and he always says, we need to massage the octopus. So that's certainly what we need to do here. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really looking forward to see you in the next one. And in the meantime, happy hacking.